The year is 1978. The Sex Pistols held their last concert at the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco. The musical film Grease was released. John Travolta was 24 years old. President Jimmy Carter signs a bill into law legalizing homebrewing of beer. This is the year all the serial killer stuff happened. The first Unabomber attack, John Wayne Gacy was arrested and convicted of murder. David Berkowitz, aka Son of Sam, was sentenced to 365 years in prison. Ted Bundy was recaptured in Pensacola, Florida. And perhaps most importantly, Garfield was released to the world in its first comic strip form. The US was at a very strange state. You could kind of say it was almost surreal, magical even. It was like a realm of magic. Yeah, I don't usually write my bits, and this one's kind of off the cuff, but it's the closest thing that you're going to get to a written bit. Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is AshQuest, and this is Magic Realm, a game made by Avalon Hill in 1978. The box is rather flat. It does not follow the form factor of any other game I have currently, although I don't have any other games from this same year. Magic Realm is the trademark name for Avalon Hill's fantasy game. Now you can be a master of magic or a powerful warrior in the Magic Realm. You can play the role of a berserk Viking or a wily elf, or be the terrible witch king, dwarf, Amazon, wizard, knight, and more. 16 full-color characters in all use their peculiar powers against each other in the Magic Realm. This is for 2 to 16 players, ages 12 and up. Yes, I read that right. 2 to 16 players. Every player can be the characters that are in this game. Just another descriptor spot since the back of the box is completely blank. The Magic Realm is a changing land of mountains of sorcery, deep woods steeped in elf magic and cursed desolation, a wilderness at the edge of the world. All this is portrayed on large full-color hexes, on large full-color hexes, my bad. That can be put together in a multitude of ways for an ever-changing map board and paths that change magically beneath your feet. Alright, so included is this gigantic desiccant silica gel packet, which I actually sourced and provided myself because this thing had a smell of 1978. It has since much subsided, thanks to my airing out of the contents. I got this secondhand and I decided to leave everything pretty much as it was in its custom storage solutions, if you will, because I think that these are pretty clever. Someone took these very flat plastic trays, cases rather, and they actually cut out, arranged, and glued cardboard in place so they could keep these tokens nice and separate. There's a nightmarish amount of little tokens, and they're so small. But everything here is in really good condition. This isn't just retro, it's not just vintage. This game is an antique, and it will be treated with the care that it deserves. Now we have a few personal history pads ripped out of the overall pad of sheets here, and I'm not sure how many originally would have come with this, but it does look like it was loved, it was played. I would have to say it definitely played, since somebody did take the time to go through and arrange the tokens. I would like to offer to all sellers out there, or anybody who might be planning to sell their game in the future, if you have any sort of materials like this that you've scrawled upon even in your childhood, you should include them with the game. It really gives the game so much more life to see that somebody really cared for it. I mean, unless you plan on keeping that stuff yourself, but rather than throw it away, include it with the game. I find it absolutely charming, a thrill, a great pleasure to see that the game was someone's treasure. And I've kept every single sheet and pad with pre-made character stuff that the previous owners made with the games that I bought over the years. This one has a little bit of use. It looks like they kind of tried to start playing and they didn't get very far, so they went ahead and just used an eraser to get that cleared. But our personal history pad, which is going to track our entire campaign, provides us with the lunar month, days 1 through 28, and it looks like this is repeated, so it's possible that, well, I don't want to speculate too much, but we can just look at the contents here. We have white, gray, purple, and gold. There are 6 spaces in between, so it seems like these are really separated by week. That's the day and the turn. You can mark your activities. It looks like you can use each cell individually. You have special advantages, which you can catalog here. Looks like you have up to 2. When I said individual cells, I just wanted to highlight the difference between the gray and the white, and I wanted to say that that probably delineates different cells. You can denote your character as well as your allies, friends, unfriendly, and enemies. And then we have a find enemies cell, a fame gain, total, notoriety gain total, gold gain total, notes. Nothing changes for the bottom tracker. Off to the right, we have discoveries, hidden paths, cliff, crag, deep woods, ledges, mountains, and ruins. And these are either green or enchanted, and that refers to the hex tiles, which, by the way, beautiful hex tiles, very large. And yes, these will get fit together in such a way that the paths connect, and they cannot be put together in such a way that the paths are broken. But we'll get to the map generation rules here in just a little bit. But the top faces of all of these hexes are considered green. Surprise, they are double-sided. The reverse side is the enchanted side. It has the exact same configuration, but now you know that there is a status change. This is now enchanted instead of normal, and slightly different rules will apply whenever a space that you are on is enchanted, a region that you are in is enchanted. Not sure what our numbers off to the side mean here. No doubt the rulebook will tell us. We also have a section for secret passages in the borderland, cavern, caves, cliff, crag, mountain ruins. And looking at the tiles that have these names, I see one thing common between them. These darker spaces right here in between nodes. So these, I would presume, are our secret passages, allowing us slightly faster travel between spaces that otherwise we'd have to take the long route to get to. We have special cards, and maybe we're meant to circle these or underline them as we get these special cards. Toadstool Circle, Crypt of the Night, and Enchanted Meadow, and treasure locations: altar, cairns, hoard, lair, pool, shrine, statue, vault. Finally, we have victory requirements. We have points totaled for great treasures, usable spells, fame, notoriety, and gold, times 1, 2, 10, 20, and 30 if needed. Finally, the numbers at the very, very bottom are just the part numbers of the sheet. They don't change no matter how many sheets I go down. That kind of gives us an idea of the objectives and obstacles of the game. Somebody is a man after my own heart, or lady, or person of other royalty. Rubber bands are the way. I guess they couldn't spare a second rubber band. We have chits. We have these perforated, edged, no doubt simply torn out of a larger sheet of very thin chipboard, very, very thin cardstock. Treasure chits on the opposite side. Remains of Thief, get curse. Treasures P3, discard. Oh my goodness. We'll take a closer look at these soon. Treasure chits, spell chits, and various tiles. It bears pointing out that there is a set of tiles specific to each of the 16 characters in this game. The Captain, the Amazon, the Black Knight, the Swordsman, the Berserker. We'll look at those in detail shortly. Well, we'll look at the characters. We'll look at the chits briefly. More tiles here. The red chits all kind of seem like they are printed with sounds. Descriptions of sounds: roar, howl, patter, slither, flutter. The yellow tiles have bones, dank, stink, smoke, ruins. One of these things is not like the other. The circular tiles are simply filled to the brim with letters, symbols, slashes. The slashes are not slashes, they are illustrations of weapons. We have a sword here, we have shields, we have warhammers, or maybe that's an axe actually. Spears, not sure what that is. H is for horse, M is for Morse. The Avalon Hill Game Company presents Magic Realm Rules Introduction. We have a lot of text here, but I feel that it is worth reading. I will go through some of the more visually entertaining bits before we read that, though. This is a very thorough rulebook. But something I want to talk about really quick is how awesome this rulebook actually is. This rulebook teaches you the game as you play. It is divided into 7 sections called encounters. They are of increasing complexity, so the players can learn the game system a little bit at a time. You are given the setup of the game, and yes, there isn't a set way to put these tiles down. You will simply place tiles, making sure that all roads connect to other roads, and if that means you don't have a perfect beehive of hex tiles, so be it. If they have to go sprawl off in different directions, that's what they must do. But in any case, the rulebook is arranged to give you incremental instruction on how to play. At various points during reading the rulebook, after setup, you will be told, stop, play this encounter. We'll delve into that a little more after I'm done with the unboxing. We have at the floor of this box a large sheet with the treasure setup card, the chest, Remains of Thief, Toadstool Circle, Devil's Sword, Moldy Skeleton, Crypt of the Night, Enchanted Meadow. These are roll tables, is what we've got going on here. We have an appearance chart. Roll a d6. If you roll a 1, it's dragons. 2, serpents and demons. 3, ogres, wolves, goblins, octopus. 4, giants and trolls. 5, spiders, and 6, bats. Just bats, only bats. The table of enemies here is further divided between Lost Castle, Lost City, treasure locations, dwellings, and we actually have some of those descriptor tiles referenced here. Dank, Sea, and Slither. 2 snakes. Not sure how to read this yet. It looks like it will be a lot of fun to use though. We have more squares down here. Doubtless this is where we can place tiles that we take out of the collection of tiles from the cases. Company, Woodfolk, Patrol, Lancers, Bashkars, Enchanted Meadow Altar, Toadstool Circle Shrine. Spell books, the Scroll of Nature, the Scroll of Alchemy, the Good Book, the Book of Lore, the Black Book. Artifacts, Sacred Statue, Blasted Jewel, Hidden Ring, Glowing Gem. This is definitely a novelty. You don't see something like this every day. It is not double-sided. The other side is blank. It'd be kind of strange if we took that term literally and I turned it around and it just disappeared because there just was no other side. You could only see it again once I turned it back around. That's how that would work, right? Mathematically. We have spaces for visitors, the scholar, the shaman, the warlock, the crone. Some of this text is oriented differently, but we have 3 small treasures under the scholar. Under the shaman, we have 1 type 2 spell, 1 type 3 spell. It goes on like that. I'm not sure if this is progression, or if you collect these things as you play the tiles down. We have garrisons, the order at the chapel, the soldiers at the house, the rogues at the inn, and the guard at the guardhouse. I would be so curious to know if anybody that is at contemporary Avalon Hill has played this game or had any sort of hand in designing it. You'd have to work for Avalon Hill for a long, long time to have been a part of this. We have the parts list for, various games. Fall Christmas 79 parts list. Here's how to order. Alexander, Bismarck, Chess, Business Strategy, Blitzkrieg. No shade, but I did see a comment recently from somebody who said, I don't see what the problem is. Avalon Hill has like 40 games they could reprint. I think I see the problem. I think there's not much of a demand for Challenge Golf to get a reprint, or Chancellorsville, or Baseball Strategy, although I guess if these games were ever going to make a return, Avalon Hill could do it with its connections to contemporary game designers to just totally remake and remaster. We have some gems in here though. Starship Troopers, Wizard's Quest, Dune. The seller was kind enough to include a parts checklist here. This game was complete other than I'm just missing 2d6 and I don't care. These will be placed underneath the treasure setup card. I gotta show you these 16 characters now. It's all artwork. On one side, the name and the symbol representing this character. The opposite side will have that character's stats. We have quite the selection here. We have the wizard, who is never late, never early, and arrives precisely when he means to. Did anybody ever watch Merlin? I don't remember what network had it. In that series, Merlin was bald. And at first I was like, put off by it. But then I realized this is a really cool interpretation of Merlin. It's so different. The art for the cards is actually done by different people. This one is Chris White. The meaning of the symbol is celestial power. Weight and vulnerability is medium. Special advantages include experience, can move along all secret passages, black, and hidden paths, brown, without having to search and find them first. And lore. Roll 1 die instead of 2 for all reading runes die rolls. Oh, is it a roll low system? In development, we have Apprentice, move M5, move M4, move M3. Scholar, add move M5, move M5, fight M5. Wise One, staff 1 spell, 2, 3, or 4, add magic 114, magic IV4, flight L4, and staff 2 spells, 2, 3, or 4, add magic 113, magic 1113, or magic IV3. So yeah, we have Roman numeral designations, and I'm just kind of switching back and forth between them on the fly. You're not going to get the stat readings from me on the other characters, but I will flip the cards over as I take a look at them. This is Captain. Chevron, military leadership. This is Swordsman, Wolf's Hook, art by Kim Grommel. The Dwarf. This is a rare interpretation of a dwarf. The beard is there, but just barely. Symbol is opposition. The Black Knight. Awesome character. Mars, God of War. The Woods Girl. That's hilarious. The Woods Girl. Just Woods Girl. Artist Ralph King. Erosia, Love and Earth. The only card that I have to actually orient differently to see, Elf. But then when you flip it over, you've got to make it vertical again. Meaning of symbol, Sextile, half human. Berserker, Letoforo, Death and Destruction. Amazon, Sword and Shield. Druid, Wood. And Steve Bickle did the art for the Druid. Pilgrim, Shepherd Staff. White Knight, the Potent Cross. Sorcerer, Controlled Intellect. Witch, Vitriol, Poison. The Magician, Divine and Demonic. And finally, the Witch King. Yes, that's right, you get to play as this beast, the Witch King. Chaotic Intellect. Now I'm very curious about the tokens that are supposed to go with each character, so we're gonna go with Witch King real quick. Oh, it looks like the Druid's wood fell out. That's not a line you hear every day. Hopefully it's a line you never hear again the rest of your life. I'm actually really glad the original owner did come up with this storage solution, because I would probably only be able to come up with Ziplocs. It's just miraculous that there was storage this short. So much of what I have would not have fit in this box. It would have been too tall. It would have had lid lift. So we have a lot of these little symbols for the Witch King, which of course match the symbol on the card for the character. The opposite side has got magic IV3, magic IV4, IV3, I don't know if these are supposed to be drawn. I would say that that's probably the intent. These are added to maybe a pool. Obviously, we can just read the rule book. That's for the Druid. It's all starting to come together. It's all starting to make sense. Then we have the token that's going to represent the character. We have a tan and green side. Wonder if that's an enchanted side. Some of these tiles are blank on the non-face side. If the Druid tiles escaped, that means the Witch King tiles could have escaped too, and they did. So now all of these tiles make sense. Each set has got a tile representing the character, so you can use that as you move across the board. Perhaps we could source 16 miniatures that are small enough, say 1/72 scale, 15 millimeter. We can put them inside this box, store them with their tiles. I'm already trying to come up with proxies in Homebrew. We have spell cards. I believe these are being referenced by those smaller chits. Shouldn't call them cards, maybe. Permanent character bad luck, +1 to all die rolls. V111 any. So like 8. I can read Roman numerals. I was seeing the Roman numerals with the conventional cardinal numbers, and I was getting very mixed up. Day spell, goblins, deal with goblins. Group becomes neutral, can deal 8 black. More things that make no sense because I haven't read that far in the rulebook yet. Instant spell, 1 sound, whistle for monsters. Move sound to or from your hex. 8 purple. The teensiest, tiniest spell cards I've ever seen in my life. I will continue on looking at them, but they just have this incredible amount of information in this small package, which of course makes sense because this is not probably some big budget game, although I have no idea what the cost of it actually was. But there is so much information in such tiny spaces, and it totally is doable, even in today's contemporary games. It's just, we leave so much room for art, and we have all of these strange standards that we kind of follow because other games and other game companies are doing it. It makes me happy to see when these conventions are bent or broken by more bold game releases. I don't think there's any merit to, well, people really like this, the statistics show, so we should do things this way. Because times change, and there are things as cult followings and cult classics. And more than that, if we were on a linear scale of bad game to good game and there was no way out of that singular dimension, we'd all be playing the good game by now. There would be no reason to play anything else. Everything would be homogenized, we'd be sick and tired of games, and this community and hobby would be dead. If this seemed totally nonsensical to you, maybe you're in the right place. We have treasure cards next. I already looked at this one. It's the Remains of the Thief. Scroll of Alchemy, 4 spells. 6, Fame, -10. L, N, 15, 10. Lots and lots of information that I don't understand. Crystal Ball, Peer, or Spell in any hex. Yellow Circle, M, and 520. It just goes on like this with the description and a secondary sort of description telling you what you can and cannot take, maybe. Crypt of the Night, Display, P5, cannot move. Lost Keys, opens chest, crypt, vault, -5. Lucky Charm, roll 1 die, all rolls, yellow, -14. Potion, Poultice of Health, rest counts double, discard to Shaman. More or less, that's our treasure cards. These were bagged separately, and I have to believe that there was a good reason why. It looks like we have monsters on the faces of these chits. Demons, giants, trolls, all the monsters that are described here in the appearance chart. So I would say that's our bag o' monsters. This looks like equipment mainly. Shields, swords, armor, a flail. That you can actually get a flail in this game. That's awesome. It gets points. It gets style points for including the flail. You don't see flails like ever anymore. It's like, why? They were legitimate weapons. They were designed to get around shields and bash the helmets in of invaders. You've also got horses in here, so I think that this is just stuff that you can get. I don't know if you would consider it treasure. Maybe it's pieces that are set up as soon as the game begins. This bag is all... Oh, we have another horse, though, an L. H6, RHQ, M3, so many abbreviations. I would say these are probably things that are put onto the hex tiles on the regions as you are setting up or as you progress through the game. Magic Realm is a game of fantasy adventuring in a land filled with monsters, fabulous treasures, great warriors, and magicians. The scene is set in the ruins of a mighty kingdom, now inhabited by sparse groups of natives and swarms of monsters. Beneath it are all the rich remnants of a magical scattered and lost across the map. To this scene come the adventurers, seekers of riches and fame, to make a name for themselves in this promising field. Swordsman and dwarf, magician and sorcerer, the humans and the half-humans come to see what they can find in the legends. Now, you can play the part of one of these adventurers, stepping into a realm of magic and monsters, battles and treasures. Magic Realm is a complex game designed to recapture the suspense and desperate struggles of fantasy literature. The players take the part of intruders into an unknown and forbidden land, lured on by the prospects of looting the remains of a rich but ruined civilization. The game is extremely unpredictable, playing very differently each time it is played, so each game is a completely new adventure. Each player will take on the role of one of the 16 major characters in the game. These characters are represented in detail, and in the course of the game you will control where they go, what they try to do, how they handle weapons and themselves in combat, and much more. In the course of the game, they will run into truly deadly monsters, tribes of humans ranging from old friends to sworn enemies, and treasures of value that will give them special powers. The game has been organized into 7 encounters of increasing complexity so that the players can learn the game system a little bit at a time. Players who are new to the game should start at the first encounter and become familiar with each level of play before proceeding to the next. The later encounters add many variations and possibilities that are best understood when the more basic rules have been mastered first. Each encounter also lists optional rules that can be added to that encounter and later ones. This game includes many more playing pieces than are actually used in a single game. The additional pieces are set up and may potentially appear, depending on the directions in which the characters explore. But many of the treasure troves, treasures, and spells will still be set up unfound when the game ends, and many of the monsters and natives will never be met. Between exploring a new land, where the mountains, caves, valleys, and woods change every game, and not knowing what you will find in each place, you will find each game a new and unknown adventure. You will find this like no other board game you have ever played. And now, into the Magic Realm. I really like that introduction, and I love how they have described this game. Like so many games of its time, it is really complex looking, and it probably does start off fairly easy to learn and play, but then can get very complex without getting overly crunchy, as we seem to assign the term to rules today. I would say that games now start out crunchy. They expect a lot out of the players, and they intend for the players to make use of the country rules, such as to strategize, maybe trying to impart upon them some kind of competitive strategic spirit that they will carry with them into the game. Perhaps that is the ideal mindset of the player for the games in which that, to me at least, is inferred. But I think that the award for great game design goes to games like this one, and time really does not show us that game design has gotten better or worse. We continue to have games that engage the players in different ways and engage a different kind of player, or a specific kind of player, or a specific audience, hoping to get as many different kinds of players together as possible. I have seen some comments on this channel that compare old dungeon crawlers with simple rules with more modern dungeon crawlers that have more mature, advanced, modern rules, and I don't give any legitimacy to those opinions. They're valid, but they're not warranted. This game came out in 1979. Didn't I read 1978? Why is the rules book, that's going to invalidate my entire bit. I didn't read the news for 79. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the tiles. There are features on here. It's not just visual set dressing to the organization of the nodes. You have the name of the hex tile, as you would expect, the clearing number, so these nodes are called clearings, designation of hidden paths, but because we have ridged mountain terrain around this clearing, this is a mountain clearing. This is a bridge, that's important. This is a woods clearing. It's kind of strange because it is bordered by mountain, but I guess because it's not nestled within a mountain, it's not a mountain clearing. This is green natural forest, and this is an open road. This is green side up, so when we flip this over, well, we get the green side of the Legis tile demonstrated here, and the opposite side would of course be the enchanted, but they chose to represent the enchanted side of the borderland tile. Now this is going to give you gray enchanted forest, mine openings, secret passages, not just hidden paths, purple enchanted forest, cave clearings, tunnels, gold enchanted forest, and these are still considered woods clearings. So we have a large variety of different spaces. That's just to create the world. It's not to actually place the components of the world onto the tiles just yet. That will all come. We will have our ruins and our churches and so on placed down. So this is the first encounter, which is exploring the magic realm. The second encounter will teach you battle. And I should show you how short these encounters are, these initial ones that teach you the game. The first encounter of exploring the magical realm is just 3 pages, while the battle encounter is 4 pages, or 3.5. The third encounter is called the Monster's Rise. It introduces the monsters into combat as the magic realm takes an ugly turn. The characters still stalk each other, but now they have the opportunity to gain renown for their fighting prowess, and the fame rules are introduced. This is just 3 full pages before we get to the fourth encounter, which is called Treasures Revealed. The fourth encounter introduces all the treasures and the troves where they are located. Now the characters are in a dangerous race with rich rewards awaiting them, but enemies assailing them as they search. Each character must decide what he wants to accomplish as victory conditions are introduced. This again is 3 pages long before we get to the fifth encounter. Natives appear. The fifth encounter introduces the natives and local warriors. Now the characters can start to gain some of the advantages of civilization, hiring helpers, buying horses and other items to aid them in a dangerous land. Some of the natives are enemies, however, adding to the difficulties. This is the longest section yet in this book, 4.5 pages. Then we get to the sixth encounter, which is magic. The sixth encounter introduces magic into the game, making each game totally unpredictable. Now certain characters can wield enormous powers to shape the way the game goes, but they must be careful to utilize their advantage with skill. This is a 4-page long section before we get to the seventh and final encounter, campaigns. The seventh encounter finishes off the game system with military expeditions, trading parties, and weather, cutting across the map as the characters try to pursue their goals. Each passage in the rulebook is labeled with a numbering. There is a designation almost down to the sentence. You would think the campaign section would be the longest in the book, but it's really only a little bit more than a page, ending the book with "That's all, folks." We have at our disposal optional rules for the 1st through 7th encounters. And a final word. Characters can adjust the length of the game by agreeing to assign more or less victory points at the beginning of the game. Playtesting indicates that the game can be set up in about half an hour, and each victory point added to the victory conditions adds about 45 minutes to the playing time, so be warned. I really like that. It's so transparent. It's so helpful. Next up, we have the list of characters, providing you with the background of the characters. They can be used in any encounter. All 16 are here. And we have counter errata. Due to a printing error, 3 counters are incorrectly back printed. The game can be played with the counters as they are. Would you believe monsters that transform when they get close? But the faces shown below are supplied for you to cut out and paste on the appropriate counters if you wish. Again, and I've said this before, this is the correct way to do an errata. But that is an errata that is only really applicable because of the advantage of timing between print of the counters and the manual. Still, maybe there's a lesson to be learned there. We've got the Witch and Witch King characters, and then the list of treasures here in the very back, followed by the list of spells. Wouldn't you believe it, there is a description for every single one of these spells. Witch's Brew, Ask Demon, Broomstick, Protection from Magic, Hurricane Winds. Finally, we have the list of components and the list of components introduced in each encounter, so you can separate these components by encounter should you wish. And it's becoming pretty clear to me that if you so choose, you can just play an encounter. You can ask your buddy if they want to play encounter 1 with you, and that's it. There's no need to overcomplicate the rule system with the further encounters, or play the game system rules as written in its entirety. You can just play the rules as written from the first encounter. Or you can ask them if they want to play encounter 3, for example. And then of course you're going to include the rules from encounter 2 and 1 because 3 builds on those different encounters. But that's still going to exclude 4 through 7, making for a shorter, breezier game. So you've got 7 versions of game to play already, and then you have those optional rules in the very back. Finally, we have the die roll procedure for all tables and the spell tables. The very back of the book has the meeting table, the change tactics, the missile table, the hide table, the search tables, a price list, which is so important. And there was something that I forgot to look at before we set up some tiles to show you how the tile setup goes. The back of the personal history pad, which has the melee section and defenses, so doubtless this is to aid in combat. It looks like we have a bit of a paper, scissor, rock. That was the most chaotic way to say that, wasn't it? Scissor, rock, paper way of managing combat, which has attacks leading into charge and thrust. Shield protects against thrust. Breastplate protects against thrust and swing. Suit of armor protects against all attacks. Maneuver, charge ahead. We have a nice little flow chart here. It may not be like I thought it was at all, really. We're going to cap off this experience by going ahead and building out this hex realm. The characters are introduced first in the rulebook, but then the hex tiles rules are next, and they are very short, just a single column worth of text. The side with enchantments of the tiles is not introduced until the 6th encounter. Each game, the tiles are placed side by side to create the map of the magic realm. The circular areas containing yellow numbers are clearings where the actions in the game take place. There are 3 kinds of clearings. Cave clearings, which are colored black. Mountain clearings are light brown and are completely surrounded by ridged mountain terrain. And crag contains 6 mountain clearings, for example, this being crag. The clearings themselves are not actually gray, but the spaces around the clearings are gray, so I understand what they're saying. Cliff here, for example, that would be 3 mountain clearings, but that was pretty obvious by them being bordered by mountains. During play, the characters are located in the clearings and perform their actions there. The roadways that connect the clearings are used to move from clearing to clearing. There are 4 kinds of roadways. Open roads are light brown, the same color as mountain and woods clearings. Characters can move along open roads without difficulty. These are open roads, right? Tunnels are black, bordered with white dashes. That would be these guys. Characters can move along tunnels without difficulty. Hidden paths are colored dark brown, speckled with brown rocks. Each character must discover a hidden path before he can move along it. Secret passages are black, speckled with gray rocks, and are not bordered with white dashes. Characters must discover secret passages before they can use them. Bridges show where open roads cross without connecting. Here we go. Got a bridge. A character who moves onto a bridge at one end must move across it and continue moving from the other end. A character who comes to the side of a bridge moves under it and continues on from the other side. Obviously, if you're here, you can travel here, you go under the bridge. You do not have the ability to go from here to here, or here to here, here to here, or here to here. One player shuffles the tiles. Starting to his left, he deals them clockwise to the players, including himself, one at a time. He deals all 20 tiles, even if some players get more than others. The player holding the Borderlands tile places it green side up in the middle of the playing surface. So Borderlands is actually the first tile that we place. And it is quite a jumbled mess of passages, so it does make sense that it would be the first tile, because every single edge of this hex, all 6 of them, has a road leading out of it, or to it, if you wish. The next player to his left places any one of the tiles he was dealt except for the high pass or ledges tiles. So a road edge lies against any edge of the borderland. So here would be our cliff. And then bam, we've made a connection. Play then proceeds to the left with each player in turn, positioning one of his tiles until all 20 tiles have been placed. When it is his turn, a player must place any one of his tiles in any location and in any orientation, providing he obeys all the rules following. Each tile must be placed adjacent to 2 or more other tiles. This, for example, is a legal tile placement. This is not. This is not. This is. This is not. This is not. This is. And so on. The edges with roads running off of them cannot be placed against tile edges that have no roads, obviously. Road edges must meet road edges, and non-road edges must meet non-road edges whenever tiles lie against each other. The player must be able to trace a route following the roadways from any clearing on the Borderlands tile to any clearing on the tile he plays. I think that's reasonable, but I also think that that rule is pretty much covered by the preceding 2 rules. Also, it's now impossible to place any tiles here or here, at least until further tiles have been placed along the upper edges to follow the tile must be placed next to 2 existing tiles rule. So I'm going to have to do this because that's adjacent to 2 or more tiles, and now I can place a tile here. Wow, that was a very easy to solve problem, actually. The real problem arrives once you start getting tiles with roads leading out so many edges that you can't place it down just to have a given road continue on, because now the road on the tile is broken when it goes on to the next tile, and that is illegal. So we have to start finding tiles now on purpose to make sense. Alright, I like it, and I like it, and I like it. Tiles can't be placed on top of other tiles, they have to be placed green side up. You must always place a tile so that the player after you has a legal play, and if you have no tiles left to place, when it is your turn to play, you will select the character you will play in the game and take the character's card and counters and a sheet from the personal history pad. If you have already selected a character, you just skip your turn. After all tiles have been placed and all the players have selected their characters, 1 warning counter is placed on each tile. Each warning counter is yellow and has a word such as smoke, dank, ruins, or bones. and a letter, V, W, C, or M, printed on it. The 5 counters labeled V are mixed together face down, and one is placed on each of the valley tiles. The 5 counters labeled W are mixed together face down, and one is placed on each woods tile, except the deep woods, which, by the way, I placed a couple of tiles that I wasn't supposed to place. The 5 counters labeled C are placed on each tile that contains a cave clearing, and so on. So setup can take around 30 minutes, but it does seem like a very rewarding experience to set up this entire world and be able to place all the tiles and everything face down for the players to discover. This isn't going to take up a whole lot of table space. I've only got another 5 tiles to place, so it will be very evident how much space it will take up on your particular table. So I definitely appreciate that. But all in all, that is basically Magic Realm. This game is going to remain in my possession until I have played through the 7 encounters at least. I have a feeling it's going to be very interesting, a lesson in game design, if I can be bold, and sort of an odd combination between an open world game and a quest-taking game. Those are kind of the same thing to me. But a quest-taking game that's modularly generated like this, which truly can be very different every single time you play. That sounds so cool. I don't know what was in the water in 1978. Maybe it was the capturing of all the serial killers. There's so much to go over, and yet I don't get the feeling that it's overly complicated. I think a lot of this is just referential, and once you've read through it a few times, you probably get the sense of, okay, that makes sense. Because there aren't that many components. There are definitely tables in the book that would lend some depth to the surface level symbols and numbers that you encounter on the tiles and chits and things, but there's just not a lot of components other than what needs to go onto the map to create the world, and the scattering of treasure and spell tiles that each player will take along with their own tiles. So I think that none of it is overwhelming, probably. But I'll be happy to share more once I have played this quite a few times and I'm able to provide a deep dive sort of analysis to how it plays. For now, brave heroes, I thank you very much for going on this journey with me. It is exceedingly interesting to see games as we go back further and further in time and see not just how they were played, but how they were designed and with what components did they come. You know, creating something like this these days would be very cheap if they were to mimic the component quality as it is presented here. I just can't imagine that it would be a great cost at all. And yet, there is immense value in being able to play a game that is different every single time you play it, and makes sense being different every time you play it. It's not just a random hodgepodge of anything could happen at any time. That's a spiel I'll get into another time, I'm sure. Heroes, thank you again for your kind attention. Please comment down below what you thought about this, and I will see you in the next exciting adventure. Did you play this? Let me know that as well. Until then, I bid you a fantastic rest of your day, and onward.